Welcome everyone to the next session of the Hall of the Dwarven King. I believe this is session 8 of the campaign. Where we left off, we started last session in Rivendell, and we made our journey, now that it's spring, back to the Dimrill Dale. During this journey, we had two visitors, two crows, sent by Mockercraw. The first to tell us that there was smoke rising from the chimneys in the mountains, and the second, a few days later, to tell us that the smoke had stopped, and that Mocker had noted sounds of hammers and whatnot while there was smoke, but now those sounds have gone quiet. And then we found, during one of our encampments along the western edge of the Misty Mountains, we found a body, and this body could not be identified 100%, but we did find some bracelets that we recognized as belonging to Haldor, who had traveled with us, but had returned early to Rivendell, replaced by Craic. And taking these, we searched for more information about what had happened to Haldor, but none was forthcoming. And the question remains as well, what happened to Link, who had traveled with Haldor? We did have an encounter with some goblins, perhaps the party that was responsible for Haldor's death. Regardless, we slew them to a man, and then continued on our way. We reached the Dimrill Dale. Sun was shining, a lovely day after the gloom that we had left, and Mockercraw was there to greet us, to tell us that he had kept his end of the bargain, that he had watched over the Dimrill Dale, and would send reports, which he did. He kept his end, and then all he asked was what he was owed, which was a trinket from Rivendell. And we had taken a clasp that would hold a cloak together, and brought that, and Mockercraw was overjoyed to see this elvish silver that would join his hoard wherever he kept his shiny things. He also we also encountered the eagles again. Padrival and Taintirith and Thoradel flew down to tell us that they had likewise been watching the passes and the dale, and had dropped many orcs to their death. In fact, you could see black blood staining the rocks near the eastern gate, where they had kept the way open for us. And Padrival at that moment flew down to little Fatimer, and told Fatimer that because of his courage, that any time that Fatimer needed the help of Padrival and his brother and sister, just to call his name to the wind 3 times, and he would come to our aid if he was able. We then went back into the mines, and passing through the eastern gate into the first hall. And the first hall held many wonders for us, mostly carvings that were upon the walls. And some carvings we could see had been removed, had been taken by the dwarves when they fled Moria generations ago. There was the great door of Durin there, which was locked and could only be opened on a certain day, the last light of autumn, on Durin's day. But then we found there was another way, because after all, the dwarves would probably want to get in here, not just on that one day. There was a secret mechanism, and only through the use of magical means was, I believe, Fatimer able to find the way in through that door. And inside the first hall we beheld the coronation throne of Durin, where the kings of Moria had been crowned, and each had started their reign from here. Their names were carved on the wall, Durin 1 through Durin 6, and then Nain with a 5 next to his name, which was curious because he was not Nain the 5th, he was Nain the 1st. But Nain was the last named king of Moria before the dwarves fled. And Nain, son of Durin the 6th, had taken his father's ring out of Moria, and we know that it was given to Frór, who is the father of Thrain, who was the father of Thorin Oakenshield. So at some point that ring passed out of memory over those hundreds of years. After the first hall, we found a long stretch of hallway, and we had a brief journey in the dark in Moria, and it was eerily quiet. Before, when we had entered in here, there were plenty of orcs and goblin archers to harry us and keep us busy, but those seemed to be gone. Perhaps this was the doing of the eagles. Perhaps something else had happened. Perhaps the smoke and the hammering that Mocker Craw had heard was to blame for this. Continuing on our way, we came to a single solitary span of stone above a chasm. This lone bridge, rather humble, and would not gain fame for 50 or 60 years until a certain wizard walked across it and bid the Balrog that he could not pass. But we were to pass across that bridge, and we could see movement on the other side of the bridge. Something big, lumbering, and it appeared to be a stone troll. And as we watched, we saw more movement, perhaps an orc handler and goblin archers. And so we plotted a way to get across the bridge. If the troll got onto the bridge, only one of us could fight him at a time, and he might make short work of us. So in that event, Frór decided with his superior armor and shield that he would be the tip of the spear. He would be the vanguard. And he began to cross the bridge while Craic and Fatimer were at the ready with their bows. Now, behind Frór was Vidar and Thranin, hidden behind his great shield. And as he approached, the troll stepped up, thinking it was easy pickings, when suddenly from behind Frór leapt the two other dwarves to flank the troll, and the three of them fought like cornered badgers against this fierce foe, smashing with hammers, slashing with axes, while arrows rained in around behind them. With a very fortuitous series of blows, including a Hobbit arrow, the troll was felled, succumbing to his wounds in short order after this courageous display by the dwarves. The goblins were then mopped up along with the orc handler, and the second hall was ours. And that is where we left off, and that is where we go to now, is to the second hall. Let me get us there. And so here we see the bridge of Khazad-dûm, we see the second hall. When we arrived, we took note of a few things, some lore that, in fact, I believe it was Craic. Our dwarves do not know this lore. Apparently it's the ranger that has heard that about this place, and that the great hall here was once a spectacular place with the series of columns. Though the first hall might fail to awe visitors to Khazad-dûm, the second hall is an astounding feat of dwarven craft, a true wonder of the world. It is wider, loftier, and far longer than the first hall, and its length runs westward into darkness. Lines of huge black pillars carved like mighty trees run along it, the tops of the columns disappearing into the dark above. The smooth surface of the floor is littered with debris, but still reflects any source of light like a polished mirror. This is a great crossroads. From the second hall, the main road leads on into the Dwarvelf, but you can also find staircases that lead up into the levels and down into the deeps. The way that Moria is established is when the dwarves first arrived, they arrived at the eastern gate, and that's where they began to carve. And the halls are named in the order in which they were built. So the first hall was built, and then the second hall. And then they continued to build third hall, fourth hall, but they also dug down into the deeps. And so any level below this first or this main level would be the first deep or the second deep. And anything above would be the second level, the third level. And so levels go up, deeps go down. Halls are numbered in the order in which they were constructed. And this great hall was a marvel in its time. And one of the lost glories of Moria is the stairs of sun and moon, which were just through that archway. The stairs of sun and moon led up from the second hall into the Dwarven proper. Half of the steps were decorated with panels of silver, the others with panels of gold, and light from windows high above made the whole stairway shine with heavenly light. 2 sculpted trees, again one of silver and one of gold, grew at the foot of the stairs, and as travelers passed under the arch, their branches intertwined above them. Now when the Balrog chased the last dwarves out of Moria, the heat of its passing melted the stairs of sun and moon. Panels and trees alike were reduced to a slag of molten metal that had congealed at the foot of the stairs. Over the years, thieves have hacked away much of this lump of treasure, as the stairs are quite close to the main entrance to the city and thus easily accessible. No dwarf could look upon the ruin of these stairs without weeping. And that's where we left off. Now we're all essentially in good health. It looks like Thranin is down 2 endurance points. We all do still have some fatigue. That will reduce at 1 point of fatigue per day. Every good night's rest we have will reduce a point of fatigue. That will help us to avoid becoming weary. Hope-wise, it looks like Fatimer is down 3, Vidar is down 2, Frór is down 1, Craic is down 2, and Thranin is down 3. Now, just to remind you, we do have 6 new fellowship points at the start of every session. You can use those in combat to gain to make your combat roll favored. That's a boon of having Balin as our patron. We can also, during any rest, a short rest or a long rest, we can use those points to replenish hope. And those 6 points will renew at the start of every session. So just another reminder, use those points. And if you need them in battle, use them. But everyone can kind of decide, hey, can I use a point here? No, we need to save it for the hope. That's one thing that you guys can decide amongst yourselves before someone just uses all of them willy-nilly. But you can always use them to tack on extra hope, because your hope renews very, very slowly compared to your endurance. So, where we left off, we have just concluded the battle. We're catching our breath, covered in sweat and grime and goblin blood. We've made the journey across the bridge of Khazad-dûm. What do we do in here now?
Well, it doesn't look like there's much to discover or look at, really.
Well, as you're looking around, Thranin, maybe give me a roll. Let's get us started off here. Give me an awareness roll, please.
I hope we have the same rolls we had last week.
They were awesome last week. And yeah,
hey!
We're off to a good start. With an automatic success, you hear sound up here. After the battle, the hall grew quiet except for the panted breath of the dwarves and the hurried breathing of the Hobbit. But you can hear scrabbling sounds coming from this upper gallery. It's just out of reach of your torchlight, but there's something up there.
Ranger, do you think you could throw the Hobbit up there?
Oh.
I think that's a little too far. How do we get up there?
Yeah, there are no stairs that are visible.
I believe we have a grapnel hook. Yes, I have one.
We do.
And it gives me a favorable to athletics.
Yeah, you will add 1 6-sided die to an athletics roll if you're using that grapnel.
Heck yeah.
Well, so much for the good rolls.
Clunk right against the wall.
Perfect. Yeah, as you throw it up, it arcs over onto that second floor. And as you pull it down, it fails to catch on one of those columns. And as it drops down, Let me have Craic give me a roll. This is going to be a scan roll as you're looking to see, does something react up there?
And now I have a check on that. But also, because of my lantern, don't I get a bonus with that?
Yes, so if you're doing a scan roll, your lantern is good for that. So you could, with your lantern, this may be like what they call a bullseye lantern, where it has a shroud and you can sink it down to make kind of like a spotlight. You can shine a point of light up there. So add 1d to that roll.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Great
success. So with a great success, you see something scrabbling around up there. And it is a ghastly looking creature. Let me post a picture of it.
What is that? You see it?
Right there. You're not sure if this is goblin or something fished out of the deepest pits. It is goblin-like in size and shape, but long folds of fetid skin stretch between the creature's ankles and wrists. Something between a bat and a horrible hairless squirrel, perhaps. It shuffles around in ungainly fashion, eyeing you with great pale eyes. When your light passes over it, it quickly begins to run, basically shuffling with its great wings towards the opening in the wall here. Do you try to bring this thing down?
Thranin will say, "You, come down here."
You can give me a roll for that. Give me either a persuade if you're being kind, or an awe roll if you're trying to intimidate.
I'm a dwarf in Dwarven Hall.
Yeah,
Of course I'm going to awe him.
You're not persuading. Okay.
But I am awesome.
It freezes, and you see it trembling. And as it trembles, it lets out a yell of alarm. This raises the eye awareness as it lets out this alarm call. It has not sprinted away. It does not come down, but it does pause.
You speak, creature?
It hisses and begins to mumble out words in some broken language. Malek, Malek, Malek. And then it begins to spit and hiss. It sounds, you're not sure, but sounds like it is saying Malek. Craic, give me a riddle roll to see if you've ever heard that word.
A riddle. Almost made it. No.
Almost. Oh, missed it by 2. You have not heard that word, but it sounds like a word in the black speech, in goblin tongue, goblin language, or orc language. It sounds like perhaps a name or a word, or maybe even a curse, a gesture.
Right.
It pauses for a few more moments and begins to eye that hole, and you can see it slowly moving towards that hole in the wall.
I'm going to take the shot.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
I'm going to give you one.
I got to target it.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 1 penalty die as well, because it's up and it has a little bit of cover from where it's at.
Right.
Fatimer, do you want to take a shot as well?
It says you need to select a token in the combat tracker.
Oh, let me put us into combat. fact, I'll drag us all there. Make it easy. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and a penalty.
Fatimer, do you want to shoot as well? Or are you watching with interest?
Yeah, I'll try.
Probably should have used a hope.
Your arrow skitters off to the side as it lunges back, hissing. Oh!
He's gonna go. Oh, nice.
Fatimer.
Nice.
Okay. Let's see if he can make his protection roll.
Hold Deadeye.
Oh, he is protected. So he succeeds on that, but he does take damage. Let me apply the damage. Nice. And let's see, where is he at health-wise? Okay. He will let out another shriek again. It almost sounds like a warning call. And he moves towards the hole. Anyone else want to take an action here before the next round of combat?
Can I use the ability of being in forward stance?
Yes.
If I can even be in forward stance of intimidating?
Yeah, so in fact, after this would be like the opening volley is over, we're going to go into close combat. So you can choose forward stance if you like, and you can do the intimidate foe ability, which, if you recall, you will roll awe to render foes weary. Anyone else want to change combat stance?
What's the enheartened one? Which stance is that? Open?
That's open stance.
Yeah. Okay.
Thranin, you failed with your awe roll. It sounds like a lot of dwarven bluster, like get back here, but he is quickly leaving. If Vidar, if you want to do the enhearten, you can, and then we'll go to the rearward folks.
Yeah, I think Vidar will add to the dwarven bluster.
Nice.
Nice. So that is a great success. So that will give a bonus die to anyone in forward stance and open stance.
Nope. Sorry, apologies. My mic wasn't working. I would also like to take a shot with my bow.
Okay, we'll go to rearward stance if you want to go ahead, and I'll let you shoot first. That is like almost the worst you could possibly get. In fact, maybe your arrow is slightly crooked, warped from moisture, and sails off in a horrible direction. Let's go back to Craic and then Fatimer.
Okay. Yeah, penalty, but I'm gonna put a hope in there to offset. Oh man, terrible.
Oh, almost a Gandalf rune. Yeah, it skitters, falls far short. In fact, it lands just beneath it in the level below it.
He's gonna get away.
Yeah, this might be up to Fatimer.
I'll use hope.
Ooh, the Eye of Sauron. A failure. On his turn, he will let out one more cry. And then he begins to squeeze himself into that hole. There is time for one more round. If anyone wants to change stance, they can. If not, Thranin, you're up first. You do get a bonus die on your next action since you're in forward stance. You could do Intimidate again and get a bonus die on that for being enheartened. Craic, you're up. Do you have an action for us?
No, I don't have any ranged weapons.
Do you want to throw your grapnel again? See if you can land it up there.
Oh, sure.
And you can get a bonus die on that for being enheartened. Oh, man. Got it. Narrowly. Actually, no, not narrowly at all. You got 21. Never mind. It sticks. Give me an athletics roll to see if you can pull yourself up there quickly. With a great success, you'll be able to pull yourself up to that level. No.
I go 3 feet up and fall to the ground.
Yeah, you get about 6 inches off the ground, and you're pulling and sweating, and your feet are just kind of shuffling back and forth, trying to find purchase, struggling to get up there. Let's go next in order is going to be Vidar. Do you have an action for us?
Ooh. I suppose Thranin is going to be too far away to enhearten. I guess he could try to follow. He's not the most athletic.
Climb over Thranin and up the rope.
He's got a head start.
Give me an athletics roll, and you do get a bonus die on this. No. That was close. Missed it by 1. Probably having to climb over him. You're pulling on his hair, stepping on his shoulders, pushing him down, and he slides down slightly. Let's go to... let's see. We're back into our rearward stances. Craic, you're up first, and then Frór, and then Fatimer.
Okay.
And again with a penalty die.
Right. And so I'm going to put in a hope to offset that. Oh.
Ooh. And that will be a piercing blow. Can he make the protection roll? And that is a ton of damage. Okay. He is wounded. You tell me how you take him out. How does your arrow...
I guess since he's trying to squeeze into the thing, it'd probably come in the back underneath the rib cage into his lung or something like that.
Nice. You hear a sharp intake of air and then a gurgle. And you see his body take a few more tentative pushes into that hole, and then he lies still. And you can see his wings, his breath coming slow, and then his body ceases to move. Well done. Let's go to Frór. You're up next. There's nothing to shoot, but if you want to try and climb up that rope, you can, or if there's something else you want to do. And then we'll do Fatimer.
Oh no, I will watch the rear, our rear, and make sure that we're not being snuck up on by any orcs or goblins.
Perfect. Fatimer, what about you? Do you want to go up there? See what that thing was?
Yeah, sure.
Give me an athletics roll to climb that rope.
No.
Not bad, but no. Fatimer, you begin to pull and realize that you're asking far too much of yourself to lift your ample girth by your arms. Let's go. We'll go out of initiative order. We've got 2 dwarves scrabbling up there. If the 2 of you want to fight to get up to the top, you can both make athletic rolls to see if you can climb up there, and give yourself a bonus die now that you're not in combat. Nice. Vidar gets up there. In fact, you get up to the top. And Thranin, do you want to climb it as well?
Absolutely. 3rd time's a charm.
Ooh, nice.
Hey.
The 2 of you get up there. Neither of you are probably one for great heights, but this is dwarven construction. And having taken out, was this a scout or some other foul creature? You don't know, but having taken it out, it emboldens you. And as you look at it, Vidar, you can tell this is nothing you've ever seen before. Give me a riddle roll as you look down at this pitiful creature. Yeah, definitely have never seen anything like this. And Thranin, if you want to check it out, you can do the same as well.
Which roll is it?
Riddle, please.
Riddle.
Riddle. No. We sent the two nincompoops up there. But they were strong enough to get up the rope. Yeah, you have no idea what this is. It looks like maybe it's some sort of goblin creature, but you've never seen anything like this. There are no markings, there's no clothing, no armor, no equipment, nothing that might signify, to whom does this belong? Is this a pet? Is this a slave? You don't know. But it seemed to be in here watching, and with that loud piercing cry, you can't help but think this is most likely some sort of alarm system, early warning system. And perhaps your location is no longer a secret.
They're spawning new beasts in Moria?
That's what it would seem like. And how would a ranger feel about that? I mean, orcs and goblins are enough, but they're making new things.
That's horrifying.
For Craic and Frór and Fatimer down below, you're watching this with interest as the two dwarves go up and pull that body out and examine it. There are many side passages in here. This artwork here on the side just depicts some of the passageways. So this isn't to scale. This just means it goes in and there's other branching pathways and things that go out. And maybe there's a big room just through here and another big room through here and another through here. So it doesn't mean there's just like a little closet there. It could be something large. There is a... likewise, there would be rooms on the other side as well, or you could take the stairs of sun and moon. So the stairs would take you deeper along the road. These hallways here on the sides, they may take you to other side rooms or side passages. You really don't have a map. You don't really know where you're going. I'll let you guys kind of formulate a plan. Do you want to go up or down or laterally or continue on this same level?
Is this a door too?
That is not a door. So there were once gold and silver etchings on this wall that have been entirely melted off. So you've got a door at the end, and then you've got probably 3 doors on the left side, 3 or 4 doors on the right side. There's not anyone in particular that would go really to any location. It's not like, you picked the wrong path. But do you want to check out those side branching passages or just take the main road?
As I explore this great hallway, in which of the chambers does the air smell least foul?
Oh, that would be a scan roll. Nice. So this hallway smells different from the rest. Most of these halls stink of orc or goblin or troll. It's everywhere. It seems to have wiped out the smells of the forge, of fire and molten metal and dwarven sweat. Instead, it's replaced with this goblin filth and muck. This room here, there's something different. It's cold coming from that room, and it doesn't stink of orcs, but there's a different smell coming from there. As far as the best smell is likely coming from the one that smells most normal would be coming from the stairs of sun and moon.
Yes, Craic, this hall to the south, it feels different. Perhaps we should investigate. There may be something different about this particular hall?
You mean this one?
Yes, this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely interested to check that out.
What of the two dwarves up on the upper levels? What do the two of you want to do? Do you want to bring that creature's body down, that reeking bat, or do you leave it up there and climb down? Do you explore up there?
I'll take a look around
Okay, give me a scan roll, if you would.
with my lantern, which gives me
Adds a die to that.
adds a die.
Nice. So you see there's a couple passageways. There's the one that this creature was trying to get through, and it's very small, but on your hands and knees you could likely climb through that. The rest of these look like small alcoves where there may once have been statues, but they've all been defaced. The dwarven faces have been chiseled off, and orcish features have been crudely carved onto them.
I'll at least crawl halfway in just to see if there was anything in there.
I'm just going to move you up there. What about Vidar?
I think Vidar was going to just shove the bat thing off the edge, which might destroy the body, but he's not going to harness it down or something. Seeing Thranin go look at the hole, I think he'd stand by just in case things go wrong.
Okay, let's put you up there. It sounds like Craic and Frór are checking out this room. What about Fatimer?
Yeah.
I'll check out the bottom levels with them.
Okay. Let's go up to the top first. So the two dwarves up there. As you begin to poke around in there with your lantern shining, this is a rough-hewn passageway. It's likely that this was not intended to be a passage built by the dwarves, else it would have been accommodating to the dwarves. This has been carved out of stone by orcs or goblins, most likely goblins based on the size. It's rough-hewn. It almost makes you sick to your stomach to see someone carving something with such little respect for the stone. And you kind of poke through there, and it's a long, winding passageway. It's not quite a straight shot. There are winds here and there, but for most intents and purposes, it goes in a relatively straight line. You can see that there are lots of little bones in here. Little rat skulls and small rodent rib cages and things like that. There are other areas in here where it looks like little piles of scat, like that creature that you slew had been living in here, feasting on rats and bats and excreting his foulness in here as well. Give me a scan roll, Thranin, if you would. You can see up ahead, this passage seems to open into a wider, larger area. You can go all the way to the end if you want and see what's there, but it looks like it does expand into something where maybe you could stand up, or it could be a sheer drop, you don't know. Do you want to go all the way to that end?
Against my better judgment, my greedy heart will push me on.
And Vidar, do you stick with him?
Yeah, he couldn't turn his back on an ally now.
He probably looks back at you, and you can see the apprehension in his eyes. But you continue on, and as you push your way in there, it opens up into a small room. And I'm going to try out something here on Foundry. I'm able to build a random room here. Oh, perfect. Okay, so it is. It's in the Moria book. I know some of you got that for the holidays. So in the Moria book, there's random tables for lots of things, and one of them is for rooms. And so I don't have a room plotted out here. I didn't know if you guys would go this way, but you can roll on these tables and generate rooms. Or Foundry will do it for me. I just say I want a room, and it'll randomize everything for me. So it opens up into a small dwelling, and this is large enough that you could stand, and this is large enough for to accommodate probably 8 or 9 people, and it's very much unfinished. There's no decorations, there's no furniture, and the floor is partially flooded. There's about 2 inches of water on the floor, and the you rolled a great success. The water smells off. It smells kind of funny. If you want to taste the water, you can to see if it's drinkable. You know that there is water here in Moria. There's many streams and wells and sources of water. Some that will be drinkable, some that will not be. Do you taste this water?
Just judging by the smell of it, I don't think that I would.
How about Vidar, as you go in there? Would you get a handful of this water and taste it? It smells okay, but it's kind of dark.
I think from almost a viewpoint of like, we are going to need water eventually. It's almost Vidar's duty to find sources of water. He might try a little taste.
Yeah, so there's a table, because again, there's a table for everything in this book. Roll a feat die. So roll, type /R space 1DF. You got a 1. Oh, geez.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, and so you do taste it. There is something in this water, and as soon as you taste it, you feel a tingle on your tongue, and you spit it out. You know this is not normal. Give me a wisdom roll. This is a shadow test, and this is against sorcery. You're going to take 2 points of shadow. And you're going to have some hallucinations for a short time. And some of these hallucinations, I mean, it can be completely up to you, but some of these can be, well, I'll let you choose. You can either be distracted, you can be mistrustful, you can be jealous. You'll choose one of those, and you don't need to say. You can just role play it, or if you want to say what you're going to do, I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, all right. I'll think about it. I like the idea of just doing it.
Yeah. But you spit out the water. This is not drinkable water. This is it tastes of not of like excrement or urine or anything like that, but it tastes of malice, of evil, and that is actually going to raise the eye awareness as well.
Thranin will already have his water skin out so he can rinse his mouth out, and he'll say in a low tone, maybe leave that water finding to the ranger next time.
You know that you will need to find water in here at some point, maybe even food. Depending on how far you want to delve, but your first attempt at finding water did not go so well. Let's go down to the group down below. So Frór, Craic, and Fatimer. There's a small room just off the second hall. This looks to have been forgotten by dwarves and orcs alike. In here, on a small stone pedestal, is a skull, and it's a kind of a larger skull, probably human, but looking at the brutish features, this is the skull of an orc, and there's something carved on it. It will take a riddle roll to read this. It's not in a language with which you're familiar. If any of you want to make that roll.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. Oh wait, Maybe I'll do a hope. No.
Oh, not quite. And if you have, remember, you can be inspired if you have a distinctive feature that has something to do with what you're doing, which I don't know if any of yours would on there. But Frór got it. Frór nailed his roll.
Nice.
You recognize it's orc writing has been carved in here. There's 4 letters, and you're not sure of what the second letter is. It's A something O-G. It must be Azog or Azog. This is the great dwarf who slew, or who defeated the orcs at the Battle of Azanul Bazaar in the Dimral Dale, that slew Thror, and the dwarves stuck his head on a stake after the Battle of the Dimral Dale. Now, the orcs do not venerate their dead. You know this much. You know that carcasses are stripped of any useful gear and then thrown aside, or into the stew pot. But the orcs recognize the power of hate. Thus, the head of Azog was preserved, complete with the pouch of coins that he flung at Thror's servant, Nar, all those years before, and that the dwarves had thrust into his mouth after his death. That skull has been placed in this little side room on top of a broken pillar, and today it is there, a grisly monument to the inextinguishable hatred running between orcs and dwarves. Now, Azog, although he was a great orc, a thing of terror, his malice has seeped into the stone, and this chamber is cold, filled with that malice. And as you are studying this skull, Fatimer, give me an awareness roll, please. Oh, take the Gandalf rune.
Yeah.
Great success. With a great success, you sense something. You've been in these chambers in the dark. You came here by yourself into the eastern gate to rescue Padrival. And in here, as they're looking at this skull, and Craic and Frór are discussing what this could mean and the history and the lore of this area and who Azog was, you see a mist seeping out of a crack in the wall. And this mist begins to coalesce on the floor around you. This mist begins to take shape in the form of a terrible wraith.
Oh.
Let's see if I can get the got some artwork here.
Oh my. This foe is beyond any of us. Run!
Let's drop the 3 of you into a quick little combat. Now, it's taking a moment for it to coalesce. You can see these vapors, and Fatimer, you probably tug on Frór and Craig's pant legs. Look, you're pointing. And you see this begin to take almost a human-like form. If you want to attempt an open volley, you're more than welcome to. What would Craic do?
Yeah, I'd probably shoot at it first.
Okay.
I don't know what that's actually going to do, but...
Do we have, like, torches or lanterns lit with us?
Thranin has a lantern. I think someone else has a lantern. Craic, is it you that has a lantern?
Yeah, I do have a lantern.
Okay.
Because I think the last time we fought wraiths, they took more damage from fire, if I remember correctly.
Can I light my arrow and then shoot it?
So, do you have a lantern or a torch lit?
It's a lantern.
It would be difficult because it's probably a windproof lantern, so it would be behind glass. I probably couldn't easily get that lit. but
Right.
if you want to, light a fire, you've got some oil. If you have a lantern, you could, dump some oil on the floor and try and get it lit.
Yeah, can I do that?
Absolutely. And you don't need to make a roll for that. Everyone knows how to make fire. What about Frór?
Well, this wraith will find that there's one dwarf yet in Moria who still draws breath, and I will ready my axe.
Nice. And Fatimer, for your opening volley, do you take a shot?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do the same thing as...
To light
Craic.
fire?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to close combat. If you guys want to change stances, this would be your chance. And Thranin and Vidar, you're going to pretty quickly hear the sounds of battle coming from behind you. All right, Frór, looks like you are up first. Nice. Huge blow. Let me apply damages. Nice. You don't know if this is a wraith of Azog or what it is, but you swing your keen axe down and it passes through that vapor, and it takes a moment for the vapor to come back and coalesce. Craic, your turn.
Yeah, since I'm that close, I was going to use my longsword.
Perfect.
Am I able to get some fire on the longsword?
Yeah, since you have oil, you can get some on there, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, it's going to use one of its hate points. It's called Snake-like Speed. When it's targeted by an attack, it can spend one of these points to make your attack roll ill-favored. So when you go to roll it, when it brings up that second screen at the top, it'll have like favored or ill-favored.
Yeah. And what am...
So you'll slide it.
I can't see where to click.
Let me pull it up so I can see here.
I see where it says favored or ill-favored. I just can't see where I'm supposed to click.
Is there a slider that you can click on it? Let me just see here if I can. I don't remember what that screen looks like. Oh yeah, so it says favored, ill-favored. Just click on the feet die, so the little Gandalf rune, and then click it over to worst.
Got it. Okay, now we'll go. Let's see.
And it will force you to take the eye.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't have mattered anyway. You would have gotten an 11 on there. Fatimer, your turn.
Okay. Is this also ill-favored?
This is not ill-favored.
Okay.
Nice. Now it is going to attack. I'm going to roll a die, or I guess flip a coin in this case. 1 is Craic and 2 is Frór. So Craic, it's going to attack you, and it is going to... one thing I need to do before I do this attack. For Frór, when you hit it, this wraith has a special ability called Flame of Udun, and you suffer a moderate endurance loss from fire damage. So when you hit it, flames spring up all around it. So a moderate endurance loss of fire damage is going to be, let's see, that is a favored feat roll. So do /R space 2DF. The number is how many points you lose. We'll take the higher one. If you get a... Ooh.
Ooh.
So you're going to take 10 points of endurance loss from fire. Do you have anything that helps mitigate fire damage?
Nope.
Okay. So, endurance loss is okay. Wounds are not okay. So that's probably going to make you weary. So I'm going to mark you down to 19. And describe for me how the flames lick up around you and cause this weariness.
Well, I think as I slash at it, the flames come up and burn me.
Nice. Does your beard get singed or...
No, I think it's probably my arm that as I swing my axe in to swipe a blow with this wraith.
It then reaches out a hand to Craic with this is Fiery Touch. It's going to spend a point of hate. It's called Snake-like Speed that allows it to Fierce allows it to make its roll favored. So let me make that favored.
Oh dear.
It cannot make it a piercing blow, but it can make it a heavy blow. I'm going to apply the... I should have... It's been 2 weeks since we played. I should have done this with you as well, Frór. You can take a knockback. You can take half the endurance loss in damage, but then you get pushed out of your forward stance, and it will take you a full turn to recover that. Do you want to... Frór, do you just want to lose 5 instead of 10 and be knocked back, or do you want to lose the 10?
I'm not in a forward stance.
Well,
I'm in
like
defense.
a close combat stance, forward, open, or defensive.
Sure.
Okay, you'll get pushed back to rearward. Let me give you back 5. And that will... what's your load? Load is 19. Okay, that will make you unweary. Alright, sorry about that. And now, Craic, you can take 8 damage, or you can take 4 and be knocked back.
I'll take 4 and be knocked back.
Okay, so let me mark you down 4 points on endurance, and that will put you at 22. You are 1 away from being weary, but you will be knocked back. That means on your next turn, you'll need to spend your action moving up into close combat distance again from it. So we will go to round 2. So Craic, do you want to move up and resume your open stance?
Yeah. I'll take another swing at it.
Frór, do you want to move up and assume your defensive stance?
No, I'm going to start moving back.
Okay, so you're in a rearward stance. All you need to do, you make an attack from from a rearward stance, you can just go. If you're in a defensive stance, you make an attack and can get away. So you can just move back to rearward. So if you want to switch your character to rearward stance. And then Fatimer, you can actually attack this round.
Okay.
Fatimer, bring in the heat. Now you can't make that a piercing blow.
Yeah.
8 wow. Let's see. Can I do this? Okay, Fatimer, how do you do it?
Nice. I watch this battle go down from the back, and I wipe some sweat off my my little forehead, and just pull back my bow, and flies right into it, and it dissolves into the fog.
Excellent. Yeah, you see Frór and Craic both pushed back by the heat of the fire coming off of this thing. Frór badly singed, but not disheartened, but he does take a step back almost to protect you, and you fire right over his shoulder and take out this ash wraith. Well done. The other two dwarves, you hear this commotion coming from down there, and if you come back, you'll see black smoke beginning to fill the second hall. Or do you stay and explore in the small room that you're in?
Thranin will at least take a quick look around.
Okay, give me a scan roll.
Nope.
Did you use your lantern to give you a bonus die on that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. There's a few bits of coin lying around. Nothing of great worth. There's no gold or silver, just a few little, almost like copper blanks. There's no engraving on it. There's nothing stamped on its obverse or reverse. There's nothing to tell if this is a coin. Perhaps it's a token or a little bit of copper, but it is round and disc-shaped like coins. There's a few of them in here. You've never seen anything like this, but you know that many different peoples and would use money and metals as money, and perhaps this is goblin currency. You're not sure. Do you take it with you?
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Perfect. What about Vidar? What are you doing?
I think as soon as Vidar hears anything that sounds like battle, he would just, exclaim something like, "Well, they're getting all the treasure again," and then just go rushing for them.
And as you come back, you see this black, acrid smoke, and you mostly see it because it's rising up to your level, but you see this black smoke, and it seems to be coming from this side passage, and you see Fatimer coming out, leading Frór, who's batting down embers from his beard, and Craic follows back. You can see that they've been pushed into something difficult in there, but they don't seem to be in any sort of immediate distress. Now that the ash wraith is no more, did you guys want to search that chamber before you leave? I know we've got a bunch of treasure hunters.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's do a scan roll.
Scan, yeah. And you get a bonus because of the lantern, right?
Yep.
Fingers crossed. There we
Oh,
go.
double Gandalf rune. All right.
Nice.
So there's a lesser horde in here. So let me have Craic, if you want to roll one success die, it's just a 6-sided die. So it's /R space 1DS. We'll roll the success die. And then Frór, you're a treasure hunter as well.
Yes.
I'll have you roll 2 feet die. So /R space 2DF. So there's 1 unit of treasure per person. So there's 5 total units of treasure in here. And there is not any magical treasure in here. But there is the coin. In fact, the coins you find are probably the coins that were shoved into the mouth of Azog. That pouch of coins it's now rotted, but those coins are still here. Would you take those coins? These are coins that were taken from Thror when he was slain, and when the dwarves finally came back and slew Azog, they shoved them in his mouth. Would you leave those coins here or take them with you?
I would take them, but I don't know if the dwarves want to leave them.
Yeah, Frór, how do you feel about that?
Well, I want nothing to do with them, but I won't take problem if someone else wants to take them, but not I.
Okay. As you all come out, you meet up in here, having found a little bit of treasure, hard fought for the scant few coins that you found. Where do you all go from here? Do you go through some of the side passages? Do you go through the stairs of Sun and Moon? Do you want to go down into into the deeps or up into the levels or looking for the next hall?
The next hall?
Onwards to the next hall? The dwarves would know that the hall should be on this same level. Probably the easiest way to find that is going to be taking the stairs of Sun and Moon. And we will go to another Moria journey. Let me take us there. All right. So we need people to take their positions. We already have people kind of sorted out. If anyone wants to change, they're welcome to. Guide will roll travel. Scouts will roll explore. Lookout rolls awareness. Delvers will roll craft. Does anyone want to move, or are you okay with the positions that you're in?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Will Thranin give us a travel roll? Nice. Extraordinary success.
Extraordinary.
So we're going to cover some significant ground with this. You go 6 miles plus 2 miles for every success icon, so that's like 24 miles are possible. So you'll be able to do a lot of exploring with few events. But we will have an event. Let me roll a die to see what the event will be. It's going to be Watchful Eyes. And who is the target? The target is the scouts. If the roll fails, then the scouts will gain 1 shadow point of dread, and I'll raise the eye awareness by 1. So for the Watchful Eyes, as you are exploring, here's what you find. Let me grab my notes. The scouts, you pass an ancient dwarven waystone, and its runes have been deliberately defaced. And over the chisel scars, you notice something. The walls in this area are scarred and scraped, the old dwarven runes hacked away in a fury, and over them newer markings have been carved, jagged, uneven, and angry. This looks like the dwarven writing that you saw on the skull. Some of these look old and some seem fresh, which our dwarf Frór would be able to tell, as though arguments were fought here on the wall with knives instead of words. Let's get that roll from our scouts. This is an explore roll, and one of you can do it, and I'll let you guys decide who does it.
Frór can do it if he wants.
I've got 3 dice and I'm favored for explore.
What's your target number?
15.
You want to go ahead and roll that? This looks to be a place where orcs have come to gather and leave messages for one another. You get a success. You can notice a few things in this area. First of all, there's no recent footsteps in here. There's no tracks, nothing that seems recent, which lets you know that there's no one watching you at the moment. But you can't help but feel this is a busy place. This is a place where many orcs congregate or travel here, going to and from the different deeps and levels of Moria. If you want to read that writing, that's a riddle roll. Great success. Wow, and that's with rolling a 1. You read kind of the top line in Orc says, let me grab this. it says, "The eye watches, obey or bleed." And then scratched beneath it, deeper and angrier, is a retort. Different handwriting. It says, "The eye is blind in stone." And then nearby in smaller letters, you read another graffiti that says, oh, not "The eye is blind in stone," sorry. Let's try that again. Copy. Paste. It says, "Moria is ours, not Mordor's." And then there's a crude drawing, a lidless eye pierced through with a dwarf axe.
Well, it would appear that the Moria orcs are feuding with the Mordor orcs, and perhaps this is a spot where they have argued against one another.
Now you and Craic stumble upon this as you're scouting ahead while the rest of the party's coming up behind you. You both recall the words of Balin and Elrond, that one of the best ways to fight your enemy is to pit them against one another. You know, there are at least two factions here in Moria that dislike each other, and they wanted you to sow discord. And it looks like there's already some discord.
Yes, perhaps we could add to these messages and try and raise tensions between the two factions of orcs.
What do you suggest doing?
Well, I don't have a chisel, but perhaps if we were to leave messages that might anger the orcs.
I believe Vidar has a chisel. A very nice chisel, in fact.
Only
Well,
anger
perhaps-
them, but even like lead them to go somewhere or do something to, like convince them that one group was going to attack the other or something.
Yeah.
So
Yes, perhaps we should go and find Vidar. He can write something here that will accomplish these goals.
After a few moments, the rest of the party would show up, and Vidar, you've been checking the passageways just to make sure none of these are going to collapse on you. Everything looks okay through here. And you come up and you see this waystone along with all the others, and you do have the the Chisel of Durin that gives you a +2 dice bonus to any such rolls that you make. Do you want to carve something on there?
Yes, I think when this idea is shared with him, he would say, "Oh, yes, that is a great idea." I believe it's Craic. Yes, I think maybe it would be best to leave a warning saying that they will attack at a certain time or place, although when or where is, I do not know. Yes, it would be good to put the Chisel of Turin to work.
So, yeah, let me know exactly what you want to carve. This may have some bearing on later events in the campaign. Vidar, give me a riddle roll as you are reading this information carved in the
it could just be like a threat, like we're coming for you or something like that.
You're trying to determine like what exactly is going on with this. It does sound like there's two groups kind of spitting insults at one another, but you get a sense for one that might be more dominant than the other, and maybe that leads you to do you drive the lesser one to fight the greater one, or do you just try and pit them both regardless? Do you try and give one the advantage, or do you try to intimidate one off?
I like the idea most of pitting them against each other, but I would have no idea what to write.
Well, perhaps we could convince them that Moria orcs are planning to enter through the western side of of Moria. That way they'll congregate over there, and since we are on the eastern side, it will leave us with fewer orcs to deal with as we explore the tunnels.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing. Yeah. I like that.
So I'll have you type in chat exactly what you carve. And if anyone wants to, help with this, let me know. Once we get it exactly what we want, I'll have you do a crafting roll, and you can add the 2 bonus dice to that. And then I'm going to use this later on. And any of the others are welcome to chip in with ideas. Fatimer or Thranin. I do like the idea of driving them towards the western side, away from you.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
So then, Vidar, if you want to make a crafting roll, and then just type in the chat what you want to carve.
But yeah, that's a great suggestion, but I really have no idea what to say.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how to word it either.
Does someone feel more eloquent than anyone else want to word it for us?
Gotta sound orcish.
Right. It can't sound like it came from a Hobbit or from a dwarf. They might detect that.
Protect Moria, go west or east?
Go west. If you want to drive them away from you, be to the west. We're on the eastern side
West.
of Moria.
How about first we'll take the west, then the rest, or something like that?
Ooh.
Nice.
I'm going to type that up. First we take the west, then come for the rest. Nice. And if that is the reply, that sounds like that's coming from the Mordor orcs. Because you've got a Mordor orc saying the eye watches, obey or bleed. A Moria orc saying the eye is blind in stone. A Mordor orc saying the Moria is ours, not Mordor's. So then Mordor replies, first we take the west, then come for the rest.
Yeah.
Nice. Give me that crafting roll, Vidar, with a 2 bonus die with your chisel. You could also do a magical success to make it happen automatically.
Yeah, this feels profound, and Vidar's not all that good at crafting, so how does one make it a magical success?
So, when you go to click on the roll, you'll have to spend a point of hope. And when you go to click on it, it will then give you the option for, to make it a magical success. But I think you have to spend the hope first. And then still add your 2 bonus die.
I would, yeah, you used to use the hope, so it worked.
I think it makes it blue. It'll show up in blue because on the upper left-hand side it showed. Yeah, so that did it correctly. It's automatic because it's blue, so you didn't have to roll the feat die. So an extraordinary success. You got 3 6s. So not only do you carve this very precisely, but very precisely like an orc would carve it with a knife, not like a dwarf would carve it with a chisel. Because that would be the first mistake. They'd say, like, oh, who carved this? They have really good penmanship. No, you carved this just like an orc would carve it. And you made it look rough and ragged and using orc speech and orc, maybe you chiseled out some of the one above it. It looks just like an orc did this. That is a fantastic success. However, with a magical success, it does increase the eye awareness by 1. Any use of magic, that sorcery is, as that happens, maybe there's a deep thrum from the chisel as you strike the final blow, and that thrum reverberates through the stone, and you all hear it and feel it. but perhaps it was worth it for this. But you probably don't want to stick around here because that may have alerted others to your presence. Now we succeeded on the journey, or the event roll, so there is no shadow points are gained or lost. Let's do one more travel roll. The going is slow in Moria because we're being careful, we're being cautious, and we're trying to be quiet. So if Thranin wants to give us a travel roll.
Absolutely.
Ooh, a failure. Let me roll on here. Let's see who our target is for our event.
Just say it's the scout.
Target, it's going to be the lookout. So Fatimer, let's see what the event is. One, the long dark of Moria. If you fail with this, everyone will gain 2 shadow points. So this is going to be an awareness roll. Now, the scouts have gone ahead. The lookout, you're checking behind, you're checking side passages, you're making sure that you're not being followed. And we did just have a rather loud event. We go past a few different crossroads, and some of these are Dwarven crafted. These are nice, smooth hallways with perfect right angles, and some of them look like partially completed tunnels, and some look like where the walls have been collapsed or smashed in. You see, burn marks here and there. Every now and then there's a bone, a leg bone, or finger bones scattered here, and whether they're orcs or dwarves, you don't know. But give me that awareness roll, please.
I will spend hope to inspire Fatimer, and I believe Fatimer is my fellowship focus, so that will give him 2 extra dice.
So Fatimer, when you roll that, if you show that you have your fellowship focus.
Support from a companion?
Yes, support from a companion.
And then there's also... So support from companion and fellowship
and
focus?
Fellowship focus, yep.
Okay, cool.
And it may still cost you a point of hope. I'm going to put that back if it does.
Okay.
So right now you're at 12, so go ahead and roll that. It did not. Oh, they did. So I thought they had fixed it, but they haven't fixed it yet. Great success.
Nice.
So let me put that point of hope back. So how does Frór help you with this? Frór is a scout. How does Frór give you support in this?
I think just while he's scouting ahead, he's like making a path for me and like pointing out areas that need to be searched or something like that.
Okay. And as he's pointing this out, with a great success, you hear down a side passage, you hear angry whispers and the scrape of metal. You probably pause.
Yeah.
The whispers maybe trouble you more than the scrape of metal.
Can I try getting a little bit closer?
You're very stealthy. You want to give me a stealth roll?
Yeah.
And you remain stealthy. You go a short distance down this side passage, not more than 20 or 30 paces. And you probably tell Frór, wait here, I'm going to go check that out. The last thing you want to have happen is for you guys to get ambushed from behind.
Right.
You see up ahead there's a choke point. It's a collapsed section of a passageway, and there are 2 orc patrols that have converged here. You see a group wearing the kind of ragged armor. It's all black. They've got grimy faces. They seem to be very very territorial. The other group is a little bit larger. They seem to have better armor, and you see that red eye sign on the breastplates of these orcs. And you hear some speech from where you are with your great success. You hear someone call out, "You took the tribute! The eye demands it!" "Yeah, we took nothing! Your snagga stole it and fled!" "Lie again, cave rat, and I'll send your head east." "Yeah, if Malak hears you speak thusly, our one eye will see you die before your eye ever receives tribute." Weapons are drawn. They are one shove away from bloodshed. Fatimer, what do you do?
I feel like this is what we want, so I should encourage it, but I don't want to be found.
So they have not attacked each other yet.
Yeah, so I'm thinking if I
do you
say
stay
something?
here alone? Do you go get the rest of the group?
Oh, I should.
Do you
probably...
shoot one just to throw a match on the powder keg?
I guess I'll try to shoot an arrow and then I'll flee the scene. Because
Are you sure you want to do that?
I'm not sure. But...
Give me a riddle roll. Sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah.
If you can, set this off. You also know, if you're trying to create this, if you could come across some orc weapons and gear, you could plant it like evidence. So it may be useful to get some of that. You could maybe get some of that here. You can go back and get the rest of the group and fight this. But then, what if things turn south? It could be bad. There's pros and cons to be weighed here. What does Fatimer do?
I guess I'll go back and tell the rest of the group that a fight is breaking out between the two groups.
Now you know it's going to take you some time, probably take you at least a couple of minutes to go back and get everybody and bring them back, and this group may have settled their dispute and moved on. So time may be an issue. So there is no good choice, there's only a choice. This is your last chance to make your final decision. It's just like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. What's your final decision?
If I look around, are there any orc weapons around me?
Not here, but you see plenty of them on the orcs in this choke point up ahead.
Okay.
And it looks like one patrol was trying to go one way and one's trying to go the other way, and neither of them wants to step aside, and now they're being blamed for stealing tribute. So they found something.
I don't know. I feel like this is a good opportunity, so I'm just gonna try to shoot one of them.
You pull out one of your Shire arrows. You look at this arrow. You probably crafted this arrow yourself. You look at it, it's very straight. It's got good fletching, sharp tip on there.
Do I know what an orc arrow would look like?
Yeah, you've seen orc arrows. They're black feathers or red feathers. They're very crude looking. This is not an orc arrow, but it may not matter. If they slaughter one another, they may not care.
Okay, whatever. I'm just doing it.
Okay, you put arrow to bow, you draw back, and let's take our break right there.
Wow, thanks.
And when we get back, we will resume. I will see you all in about 8 minutes.
ignore all the signs of impending danger, because I'm a fighter and not some crappy ranger. 47 hit points and a high dexterity, 17 for strength. Kobolds are afraid of me, crafted from numbers on living paper. I escape from the mundane to a medieval caper. While in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice, and my fate is unspoken. I locate the lair, but it doesn't make much sense to me. I think that the DM might be out to get me. A hero in armor and truth, bards tell my legacy. The flame of my torch illuminates the enemy. I win in a battle, you win foes asunder. Deeper I venture, the deeper I wonder. The bodies pile up before me, the corpses I plunder. The deeper I venture, the deeper I wonder. Crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to a medieval caper. And while in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice, and my fate is unspoken. I drink my last potion, I charge through the open gate. The flame of the dragon tried to seal my awful fate. With a handful of dice, 5 times I roll 20. The dragon goes down, the DM will bloody. I leave with the princess, a satchel chock full of gold. We head to the tavern, where my mighty tale unfolds. Crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to a medieval caper. While in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice, and my fate is unspoken. The king he honored me with the mighty crossbow. It's blessed by the elves, he said. I thank him and I go. The life of a hero, struggling to stay alive.
All right, I am back. Let's do a roll call if you're here.
Hello.
Hello. Luke is here. Ubik is here. Fatimer's here. What about Craic and Henrik? Once you're here.
I'm here.
Oh, Henrik's here. As soon as Craig's here, we'll get started. Now, Fatimer has had 8 minutes to think about this, and we'll give you a little bit more time till Craic gets here. Been holding that bow back for quite some time. Your poor little arms are shaking. This could spell disaster if not done well. But they don't know you're there. You're going to get some bonuses on your dice. You could also spend hope. If you have a distinctive feature like secrecy or something, that would come into play.
So I was thinking burglary might work, because I'm like sneaking in and assassinating them.
I think I would allow that. I mean, so burglary is thieving, but I think it's also like subtle crime.
Right.
I think this would be I would allow it for this case. So once Craic gets here, we will resolve. And then I'll probably have you make the shot, and then maybe a riddle roll to try and make it look, or like try and pitch the battle, or shoot it in such a way that, like, you know, maybe the arrow passes completely through and off into the darkness, so they don't say, hey, that's a Shire arrow. Although that probably wouldn't happen until after the fight, if there's any survivors.
I will spend another hope to inspire Fatimer. Perhaps Fatimer remembers in his head that Frór told him to be brave.
So I was going to say no, because you're not there, but you did. I'd like if you did that.
Thanks.
I think Fatimer looks up to Frór.
Yeah.
Craic, are you back with us, sir?
Yes, I am.
Yes, excellent. Let's get to it. So, where we left off, Fatimer, you have a great decision to make. Are you gonna do it? Let me drop an orc on the screen, and let's see. We've got your token on the screen. Let me grab an orc. Are you going to shoot one of the Moria orcs or one of the Mordor orcs?
I'll do one of the Moria orcs, because it looks like their armor is a little bit less good, I guess.
Okay. Let me put the two of you into a combat. And let me just get this going. Okay, Fatimer. You want to target that orc. You can add one bonus die because you are ambushing them. They don't know you're there. You can spend hope yourself and be inspired by your distinctive feature, burglary. And likewise, Frór is going to spend a point of hope as your fellowship focus. So click on all those. I think the only one you have to manually add is probably one at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to make sure you don't get deducted of 2 points of hope. So when you're ready, go ahead and fire. Oh, and you get a Gandalf rune.
Nice.
Nice. Did you spend hope yourself?
I did.
Okay. Then that's good. So it didn't take an extra one. Let's give him a protection roll, and I'm going to make this ill-favored because he is not actively guarding. Okay. How do you do it?
So I'm hiding in the shadows, and I see this fight start to break out, and I know that this is what we want. We want to cause tension between the two groups. So I take my opportunity and as I see that they're not really starting the fight themselves, I take out my bow, I shoot one of them, hoping that they don't see me, and I hit him.
Where do you hit him?
I'll go in the head, maybe.
Right in the head.
Yeah.
So he has a little helm on, and there's kind of some triangular cutouts for his eyes. You can see his face, which is probably why you shot the Moria orc. The Mordor orcs have their backs to you.
Yeah.
And you get him just right up above the eye. You've shot squirrels and birds in the Shire. You just imagine there's a little squirrel peeking out of a hole, and that's his eye, and you fire your arrow. When it hits, he takes a step back and just falls backwards. And there's a pause. Like both sides look like, did that really happen? And then swords are drawn, and they just start going at one another.
Awesome.
What do you do now?
I think I guess I'll just go back to the rest of the group and tell them about it.
So you scamper back. The first person you see is Frór. He had gone there with you when we started this whole thing. Was the watchful or the long dark of Moria, and you succeeded on your awareness roll, so no one gains shadow points. But you caused this battle, and Frór, you can hear the pitched sounds of battle. You probably meet Fatimer halfway. Fatimer, what do you say to Frór?
I will tell him, Frór, I was checking out this area, and I saw this group of Mordor orcs and Moria orcs, and they looked like they were about to fight. So I started the fight for them by shooting one of them, and now they're over there fighting each other.
And you can hear the clash of steel on steel, the grunt of effort, the squeal and cry of wounded and dying orcs. Frór, what's your response to this? First of all, do you believe Fatimer?
Oh, yes, I know Fatimer to be an honest little hobbit. Well done, Fatimer. Let us go back and get the others, and we might return to this battle you speak of, and perhaps we can finish up any orcs that are left.
It'd be hilarious if in one of your most brave moments no one believes you.
I know.
Because no one was there. You go back and get the others, and it's several minutes before you can make your way back to this choke point. As you're coming back down that hallway, the sounds have all but died out, and you can hear a few kind of shuffling, scraping sounds, a few guttural gasps, probably the dying on the ground. Do you go in with lanterns lit, or do you shield your light before you head in there? They had torches, which is how you were able to see them, Fatimer. But
Probably still want to be a little stealthy.
Yeah, it seems to be dark in there. So as you slowly make your way in there, you can see there's no light. If anyone had torches, they've either dropped them and gone out, or whichever side won has taken the torches and gone. But there are bodies squirming about on the ground, and it looks like there's maybe 5 or 6 of them. You'll have to get up close to see which side won. Anyone want to do that?
Can we tell if there's anyone alive that's still lingering there?
Well, you can. Yeah, there's definitely some alive. You can see them moving. They're probably not long for this life. You can make a healing roll to determine if they are mortal wounds or if broken legs and the other orcs just left them. You'd have to get up close to do that sort of examination, though.
I'll go up.
Perfect. Give me a scan roll, Craic, as you begin to walk up amongst the dead and dying.
Scan. Where's that? There we go. Oh, should that have included my bonus for the lantern? Or I guess my lantern's off.
Yeah, you had mentioned that you turned off your lantern, which is what
Yeah.
makes it more difficult. And
Yeah.
you get up there, and you first of all you see there are dead bodies, and you're kind of stepping around them, and you can see orcs from either side, kind of these more well armored Mordor orcs and some of the shabbier looking Moria orcs. There's dead on both sides. You see orc scimitars, you see some orc helms, beaten breastplates, a few hammers and spears, many which are broken. But there's 2 or 3 that are still squirming on the ground, and one of them looks to have been disemboweled. You see he's taking his entrails and trying to stuff them back into a great slash in his belly. And he's fruitlessly trying to pack these back in, and for every few inches he pushes in, it just blurps out the other side, and he just grabs that and just futilely trying to put his insides back inside. And as you approach, he grows very still, and you can hear him breathing kind of heavily and panting, and then he looks up at you and he says, "Water. Give me water." What do you do?
Give him a little water.
Perfect. Had you not, I would have had you make a shadow roll. That would be a misdeed if you had not given him water. You take your water skin off, and you know water's precious. This is water you brought from the outside, and that every drop should be accounted for, but you see in this someone who is suffering, and whether he is friend or foe, there's no call for that. You give him your water skin, and in fact, if you have any shadow points, you can remove one.
Yeah, I'm an honorable ranger, so I have to.
You have to. Yeah, I love that. He takes the water, opens it, and begins to drink from it. And he starts to cough and hack, and it seems like more water has come out of his mouth than he has actually been able to swallow. But he, to his credit, he hands you back the water skin. He recognizes this gesture. And he looks up at you, and he just slumps, laying there on the ground, and he tips his head back, exposing his throat as though waiting.
I guess I'll do what he wants me to do.
How do you do it?
I'll just I'll swing away.
Nice. With a quick chop, you remove his head from his shoulders, and his struggles are at an end. His body twitches briefly, his right leg twitches for a few seconds, and you see his foot just spasming, and his hands finally come to rest in the pile of guts that lay all about him. There's a few others here that are bleeding out. Give me a healing roll just as you survey the wounded.
Do I get a bonus for having that king's foil or no?
Only if you're going to use it on them. This is more just to see, is this fatal or not. Yeah, so these wounds are all mortal. There's one that you think you might be able to save. It's going to take all of your craft in healing and your king's foil. You don't know how this creature would react to having king's foil placed upon it. That seems to be a healing herb, and do these dark things know of that healing, or would their body even accept it? You don't know. But there is one that if you do it well enough, meaning a great success or better, you might be able to save his life. But otherwise he will expire from his wounds. And this is a Moria orc, one of the smaller ones.
Well, he could have useful information. I don't want to use up our precious king's foil on him, but I can try to heal him.
So to heal him without the king's foil, you'll need an extraordinary success. So you'll need to get 3 6s.
Yikes. Okay. Yikes.
No, or a Gandalf rune.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you try, and you take some cloth, and again, your bandages are precious, but you press it up against his wound to try and staunch that bleeding, and he looks at you and laughs, and he's speaking in Orc, and he finally grabs you by the shoulder and pulls you close and begins to whisper something in your ear. Give me a riddle roll to see if you can decipher what it is he's saying.
Give myself a hope. No, terrible roll.
Oh my gosh. No, whatever he said dies with him. But he looks at you after he says it, nods his head and smiles, and then slumps back, and you sense the life leaving his body. What about Thranin and Vidar? What are you doing in this room while Craic is going around checking out the dying?
Vidar's probably just looking around to see if they had any like half valuable equipment. I know they're filthy orcs, but you never know.
Oh, Thranin, you missed by 1. So there's some stuff. There's, helms, scimitars. There's maybe 1 spear that's not broken. One of them has a bow with black arrows. There's a few breastplates you could probably scavenge from here. But nothing, Thranin, you're not able to find anything valuable on these other than just what would be outfitted to an orc soldier. But you can take any of that orc gear if you want to plant it somewhere. In fact, the arrows may be one of the most useful. Just so you have some of those orc arrows you could plant, or you could even take one of these bodies and put it somewhere as a warning to the other faction. You've got Moria orcs and Mordor orcs here. But it would seem that the Mordor orcs, the ones with the red eye, that they have won this skirmish.
Can we deface some of the Moria orcs?
Yeah.
As kind of like just an extra shot of cruelty. Make it look like the Mordor orcs had mutilated them or something.
Yeah, how do you propose to do this? Are you cutting off genitals and stuffing it into their mouths like Nazis would do, or
well, no,
maybe not that extreme.
No, I wouldn't go that far. Maybe lay one out, take his arms off and his legs off, and switch his legs and arms around so it looks like he's laying in a comical position.
You can definitely do this.
Or is this just going to take too much time?
No, it won't take too much time. But this. There's a price for this. This is a misdeed. This is abusing your authority, deliberate cruelty, or heedless cruelty.
I was kind of just thinking...
It's a great idea.
Is this something he would do, though?
It would definitely help what you're trying to do, but there would be a cost in shadow points for doing this.
I think I would not do it.
But you're weighing that heavily in your mind. This would help, but what if someone did this to me? You're above that sort of thing. Although these orcs, they are trespassers in your home.
They're orcs, but still, it would be I would walk away with it being more of a reflection on me than on orcs.
Yeah.
Damn it. I hate orcs.
Stupid ethics. Vidar, give me a craft roll as the Delver. So this choke point, there was a collapsed section of the passageway. And as you look at this, it looks as though this is recent. But you can't tell, was this on purpose? Was this just a natural failure of the stone? Looking at it from here, you'd have to spend significant time studying this to get those sorts of answers. But you think maybe there's something about the floor looks strange. Like maybe the floor collapsed slightly and pulled the wall down. You're not sure. But it could mean there's something beneath this. Like a sinkhole or something, or a passage or a room that is now open, that perhaps has been untouched by orcs.
Well, yeah, obviously I think Vidar would have an obligation to bring this to light. Suggestions are welcome, but I do think we should try to access this.
Vidar, give me a riddle. Or sorry, not a riddle roll, a lore roll. Ooh, that was a good roll, except for the feat die. You know one thing that your father taught you and your grandfather taught you, that there are ghosts in the deeps. If you put your ear to the ground, you'll hear the mountain rumbling far below. There are likely ghosts of the dwarves who died fighting in the fall of Moria 1,000 years ago, and they never yielded, not even when all was doomed. There must be holdouts of these dwarves who decided, I will not leave Moria. And they have fallen at some point. And if you could find their bodies, you could put them to rest, and perhaps this leads to bodies of those brave souls who gave their lives for their city. Maybe you confer with the other dwarves.
Definitely. Vidar, I mean, this is a very important dwarf goal in general. He wouldn't conceal this, but I think he definitely feels obligated to try and lay them to rest.
It would take you some time, but you could move some of this rubble away and see exactly what that opening is, where it leads.
Aye, that might be the best idea. I remember the last time we forgot to properly care for the dead. Did not end well.
Exactly. King Dror, you were chastised by Balin and made to go back and see that his remains were interred with honor. And if any dwarves gave their lives in the defense of Moria, then their sacrifice should be honored as well, rather than leaving their bones scattered about where orcs and goblins might gnaw on them, or other nameless things. What about Thranin? Do you agree with this plan?
Yeah.
Well, dwarves being dwarves, this sounds like a reasonable thing, but what about for our ranger and our hobbit? This was a scene of battle. The orc patrol that was here has left, but what if they send reinforcements, and soon? You don't know.
If I know that this is something that's important to them, then I'll let them go for it, and I'll try to help them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm all for it. And the Mordor orcs probably think they won this battle, and so they might not be back anytime soon. They might just consider it over and done.
Right.
So we might have a bit of time. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Let's do a skill endeavor to get this done. This is going to be kind of laborious, so you're going to need 6 successes, and you probably don't have plenty of time, but maybe you have enough time to do it. And I'll add all of you in here. Perfect. So we need to get 6 successes, and we get 5 attempts to do this. Now you can do any skill that you want to do here. Just kind of describe for me what you want to do, and we'll come up with a skill for you to roll. And if you succeed, then it gets a success. Every 6 you get, if you succeed, counts as an additional success. If you get 6 successes, by the time your 5 attempts are up, so basically you each get 1 attempt, you pass this skill challenge or skill endeavor. So anyone want to go first?
Does the roll have to be related to what we're trying to do?
Well, yeah. So you can either tell me what you're doing and we'll figure out what skill, or we can say, well, I'm really good at this skill, and we can kind of come up with something that your character could do.
But I'm not going to scan.
Right, yeah. You're not scanning. Nothing. But yeah. But it could be like crafting, it could be, athletics, it could be, riddle, like, oh, if we pull this out, it's going to collapse even more, things like that. Anyone want to start?
Could I make an awareness roll as I perhaps check the entire area to survey the masonry and see if there may be any weak points?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can spend hope on this. If you've got, items that give you magical successes, you can use those. That might raise the eye awareness a little bit. But as long as you don't hit 14 by the time the session's over, that will restart at the start of every session.
I will not use magic success, but as I survey the area, my ring begins to glow blue, which gives me those 2 bonus dice.
So that is... there we go. 2 successes for Frór. Excellent. So now we need 4 more, and we've got 4 attempts to do it. Who wants to go next?
Or wait,
Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
I was just going to ask if there's a way I could get away with using hunting.
Yes. What if this is a trap? What if this is,
yeah.
maybe you're checking, are there, is this the whole thing set to collapse? Is this a deadfall? Are we going to get buried under this because this was the plan? They lured us here with the battle, and, who knows? Yeah, I think I could
the whole
allow
thing,
hunting for that.
The whole thing could be rigged to, because that's the one I have three dice in.
Perfect.
So I'll try that. Please.
Nice. A great success.
I'll try athletics. I'm just not sure how I want to apply it.
Well, you could lift some of the heavier stones, or maybe you lift something up while someone shores it up beneath you with, maybe using stuff that's nearby. You've got some breastplates or spears or hammers or things like that.
Yeah, I'll give that a try. I'll use a point of hope, too.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice. Great success. Okay. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. We got it in the allotted time. The others don't even need to do anything, but for the sake of fun, what does Vidar and Fatimer want to do to help out here? Because if we get additional successes, maybe we get some additional good things happening.
Lidar was eventually just going to do crafting if it came to him. Just try to use the chisel. Not to do a magical success, but just his best.
So maybe using the chisel, you can carve away certain pieces so that they don't collapse further to, shore this up. Go ahead and give me that roll. Nice. And what about Fatimer?
I would do maybe stealth to make sure everyone is being sort of stealthy so we don't attract anyone to
So maybe
us.
you're telling everyone to do this quietly. That's, hammer more quietly.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. Boy, this wasn't even a challenge. 1 success there. Nice. So 9 successes. That's amazing. You get this opened up, and there is indeed a passage beneath here. And let me take us to a map.
On our way, is it cool if I grab some of those orc arrows?
Yes, absolutely. Throw a bunch into your quiver. Now, the floor opens up, and there's a passageway that leads into the darkness. And as you journey down this passageway, you come across a huge complex of rooms here, and you can see that in this room, this chamber must have once been a mustering yard where guards of the East Gate would gather. But all evidence of its former function has been destroyed in the wrath of some great fiery creature. While 1,000 years have cooled the flames, the chamber is still caked in soot, and the very stone has melted and fused in places. There are several passageways leading in and out of here.
Does it look like the markings of one of those fire wraiths, perhaps?
Oh, give me a lore roll. Oh, very close. It looks like something significantly larger. Judging by the flames, these flames covered the entire chamber. This must have been Durin's Bane.
Uh-oh.
Now from here, you do see on this far wall the symbol of Durin, the anvil and hammer. That must lead somewhere important.
We hear anything down here?
Give me an awareness roll.
Come on.
Ooh, close. Missed it by 1. No, it's very still. It's almost, with all of the soot, it almost muffles your steps. It's like crunching into freshly fallen snow, but it's black.
Oh, wow. That's eerie.
Mm-hmm. And looking down, you wonder, is this soot from the flame, or is this the cremated, incinerated bodies of dwarves that were once here?
Oh.
Let me have each of you give me a valor roll to avoid taking a point of shadow at seeing the passage of the Balrog. Nice. No shadow for Frór. Vidar will take 1 point of shadow. Ooh, Fatimer. When you roll an eye, when it is not combat, that raises the eye awareness. Thranin, no
I-
shadow.
I rolled a Gandalf rune.
Nice. So you are.
Oh,
Well, the others might be a little. So yeah, Gandalf is good in this case, but Fatimer rolled an eye of Sauron.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I think it was Fatimer. Was it Fatimer or Craic? It was Fatimer. So Fatimer raises the eye awareness. Fatimer and Craic, you will both gain 1 point of shadow. I'll let you mark that on your sheets. But
That's under the temporary, right?
yes,
Okay.
yep, not under the shadow scars.
Right.
Now, Thranin, when you come in here with the Gandalf rune, you are not dismayed at thinking, "Oh, this is a tomb. This is where dwarves fell. This is where dwarves fell. This is where they fought, and they fought against the Balrog, and they stood their ground against a foe far mightier than them." And it's almost inspiring to you with that Gandalf rune. But for Fatimer and Craic, this is something that is almost incomprehensible. This is terrible. I mean, you've probably seen battle. Well, I know you've seen battle. You've taken part in battle, but this might be thousands or hundreds of dwarves that may have died here, and maybe you're walking upon their ashes. But it is eerily quiet in here.
Like Vidar's headed directly for the anvil symbol.
Yep. Now, at any point, if you guys want to do a 1 hour rest, you can. Like a short rest. It's anywhere from like 15 minutes to an hour. You kind of catch your breath. You will recover some endurance points. And we've got Frór, Craic, and Thranin are all reduced on endurance. At any point, if you want to do that, you can. This is a quiet place. This might be a safe place to do that. It is kind of creepy, kind of eerie, but you could rest here, drink some water, eat a little food, or you can press on.
We
I
recover
could do-
hope too.
Yeah, during that rest, you can spend the fellowship points to regain some hope. Otherwise, you only regain hope during a fellowship phase, which is when you rest for like a couple of days.
I could do with a short nap.
Want to do a short rest?
Yeah.
If you want to, on your character sheets, you can go down to below where it's resources, your endurance. There's a short rest or a prolonged rest. You can click on a short rest. Does that prompt you to spend fellowship points?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have 6 total. If you guys want to divvy them up now, you can. So Fatimer is down 5. Vidar's down 4. Frór is down 3. Craic is down 6. And Thranin is down 3. So and we have 6 to divvy up if you guys want to divvy those up. You could each take 1 and let someone take an additional 1.
I'll take 1.
Does it prompt you to, do you want to spend fellowship points to regain hope?
Yeah.
Okay. And go ahead and select that if you like. You regained 1.
Mhm.
Okay. Anybody else spend fellowship points?
No, I think I've only used a few hope. So
Yeah, you're only down 3. Craic is probably in the worst spot. Looks like Frór, you gained 1.
Yes, I regained 1 hope point.
Okay. What about Vidar? Did you gain any?
No. It might not hurt because his shadow's at half of his hope, but I don't even remember using any hopes. I don't know how that. Do you lose hope when you gain shadow? Is that?
No, but we didn't have full hope, so your hope doesn't restart at every session.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
So the only way to get your hope back is this way, or to do a fellowship phase where you rest for a couple of days in some place safe. And you have a few places you could do that. The first hall would be a very safe place to do that. You could go in those doors of Durin and rest in there for absolutely. And then you get them all back at Yule.
Yeah, I was going to ask if I could use like two.
Yeah, you want to take 2 of those, and then Vidar, do you want to take 1?
Yeah, I don't want to go crazy or whatever happens.
Yeah, go miserable. That'll leave us with 1 point in case we need to use it during a combat, or if someone wants to take that 1 now for hope, they can do that. During this time, do you sit quietly or do you have a conversation? And if so, what about? Fatimer, are you telling the tale of how you set those 2 groups against one another?
Sure.
Do you embellish the story?
I think I would, yeah.
If you want, you can give me a roll for that. That's going to be an enhearten roll.
Okay.
Oh, close. Okay. The others like to hear it, but maybe they don't completely believe your story because you are a hobbit after all, and they've seen some of your prowess in battle. That time you charged against that orc in the tower and then quickly fell out with a mortal wound. It was only Haldor's healing that saved you. But you have since shown your worth over the last few sessions. You're getting better with that bow. What about the dwarves? What do the 3 of you speak of? In fact, probably a better question, do you have any recollection of what this place might be? And the 3 dwarves can make a lore roll if you like. I think we knew where Vidar was going with that. And
I have no memory of this place.
Exactly. And none of you know what this could be. And so your curiosity is likely piqued.
Thranin will spend most of the time talking about just the history and what a privilege it is to be here.
Yeah.
Because it's like walking through your own history.
Absolutely. This is a place where, you probably never thought in your life you would ever set foot in Moria, let alone find a place like this that seems untouched by orcs. It seems as though no orcs have been here. In fact, there are no footprints in this ash. It's just like fresh fallen snow. Do you press on?
Yes, I think it's time that we press on, though it might be wise if we check for signs of Durin's Bane so that we don't go down the same passage.
You think it's possible Durin's Bane is still here?
Well, I think it's possible, and it's likely wise to be cautious.
In fact, it's been 1,000 years. Was that just a story?
Well, I believe it was Dane Ironfoot who spoke of laying eyes on Durin's Bane when he entered Moria, and he's very trustworthy, and I would trust his word.
In fact, that's why he forbade Balin from going to Moria, or any of the dwarves in his company. They were forbidden to come here. But we had not taken that oath, and that's why you were able to come here. Well, looking for signs of Durin's Bane, besides the ash, everything in here is cool to the touch. There's no warmth, no heat. But beneath that door with the symbol of Durin, you see a collapsed corridor. It looks as though it stretches on deeper in, but it has been purposely collapsed. The dwarves likely deliberately collapsed this to cover their escape. And over the centuries, things must have wormed their way through the rocks, as there's now a very narrow passageway to squeeze through. To squeeze through will require an athletics roll. Hobbits get a bonus die on this.
Nice.
If even a single one of you fails, it raises the eye awareness by 1.
Here.
Who wants to go first?
Vidar, maybe.
Give me that
We're going
athletics
in.
roll.
Oh.
Well, at least that's out of the way. Just raise the eye awareness, and but you manage to get through. I'm going to just move you into the corridor here, and I'm going to, as I'm opening this up from the simple fog, the rest of you can make those athletics rolls.
Okay.
This will just take me a moment. And the Hobbit gets a bonus die.
Oh no.
Thranin got through okay. Oh, Fatimer's too chubby.
The big human got stuck.
And the Hobbit was too fat. Alright, let me make my tool bigger. This is taking forever. Let's try this again.
No more second breakfast, Hobbit.
No.
Yeah, let me just uncover this other spot up here. Okay.
I know you don't know much about this place, but do you have any idea where we are?
You find yourselves now in an outer hall. These outer rooms, they look as though they belong to clerks and scribes serving the Lord Warden. And those who survived whatever happened in the Ashen Chamber must have fallen back here, horribly burnt. Those who fell still lie here, although 1,000 years has reduced them to bare bones. Up ahead, above the stairs, you see the mighty door. It is a smaller replica of the East Gate. And now the dwarves don't even need to make a lore roll. You know this must be the 5th hall. The 5th hall was said to have a door like Durin's door. Or perhaps this is the way to the 5th hall.
It's likely that the 5th hall lies ahead of us.
Do we remember anything about the 5th hall?
Well, give me either a lore or a riddle roll.
We'll go riddle.
Ooh. Boy, now you guys know stuff. It's not lore, it's the sneaky riddle stuff. So, Vidar and Frór, you both know some of the tales of the 5th hall. It is said that when Durin the 6th was dead, His son Nain had become king, but he was king only for a little while, and he was never formally crowned. He commanded the retreat from the city, and when as many of his people as could be rescued were safe, he led his most loyal companions back into the mountain with the intent of slaying Durin's Bane. He never returned. You recall, in the first hall, when you went through Durin's door and saw the coronation room, there was the name of all the kings, Durin 1 through 6, and then there was Nain, and there was a 5 next to him. There was no Nain the 5th. Nain was the first of his name. The 5 must mean he was buried in the 5th hall. Let me have Fatimer give me an awareness roll.
Oh.
Oh, that's going to raise the eye of awareness. Ooh, it's at 10. These bones, many of them are still articulated. That means they've not been torn apart by scavengers. They've not been rent or cracked or had their marrow eaten. These have died where they lay, and you still see no tracks in here that may indicate the presence of any scavengers. Given this information, you deduce that likely you're very safe in this room. Now, Frór, you mentioned you were looking for signs of Durin's Bane. You can give me a scan roll if you like. You're looking around for fire or sensing that great malice. You sense none. But there's a chill coming from these doors over here. This is a similar chill to what you felt in the second hall, in the room with Azog's skull.
Well, it could be that another wraith lies in that direction. Perhaps we should avoid it and go towards the 5th hall.
That sounds like a good idea.
Don't want to see another one of those.
Now, the mighty door of the 5th hall is a smaller replica of the eastern gate. It does not appear to be locked.
Well, let's push it open and see what lies beyond.
Who pushes it open? Frór?
Frór will push the doors open.
When your hands touch the door, you feel a dark presence. This door has been sealed by the spell of the Balrog. Touching the door, you gain 3 points of shadow. This is sorcery. You can make a wisdom roll to try and prevent some or all of this. No, you take 3 points of shadow. Touching that door, you fall back and you look at your hand, and for a moment you see it blister as though burned, and then those blisters fade away and your heart grows chill.
Happened.
Now, you found a way through Durin's door in the first hall. Perhaps there's a way to get through this one. It may take a similar feat. I believe last time it was Fatimer who achieved a magical success. It may take something like that to get this open as well. to break the spell of the Balrog. Craic immediately moves down the stairs.
I was just thinking to maybe look in here or something.
Yeah. Give me a scan roll as you peek in there.
I have my lantern back up.
Perfect. Nice. Scanning around in here, you see many scrolls. These are records of Moria. Many of them have turned to ash where they lay in bundles in small cubbies in the wall. There's a desk, a stone desk, that still remains, and you can see pieces of ash on the desk that was a scroll here, and the bones of some unfortunate scribe slumped over that ashy desk. There's some other bones in here as well in a corner. They're huddled together. It looks like one has its arm around the other as though they knew their fate and chose to die together.
Oh.
Give me a valor roll to avoid a point of shadow. Nope, you're going to take a point of shadow.
Yep.
Now, to get through this Durin's door, if you guys want to try to get a magical success, you could do like athletics and try and break it down, craft and somehow, take the hinges off, or open the door using craft, or song. You could potentially, if you know a Dwarven song that may push away this spell of the Balrog, you would need a magical success on that if you want to try and tackle the door head on. But Craic,
I suppose Vidar could take the chisel to it. But sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, and Craic, you find nothing else of value in there other than the shadow.
Okay.
So Vidar, do you use your chisel to break down this door?
I think Vidar couldn't resist, even if he wanted to. At this moment, we really want to get through this door.
What could lie behind there? Could the bones and body of King Nain lie behind there? You could not go back to Balin without knowing. Go ahead and make a craft roll with your chisel. You can make it a magical success. Two points of eye awareness go up as the spell is broken. And somewhere, you don't see this, but if this was a movie, somewhere in the dark deeps, a small flame begins to glow. But the door opens. And as it does, let me get the fog of war off of here. Give me 1 second. Get all that. And up here. Alright, two things happen. The door opens, and within is a sight of horror and dangerously foul air, for these doors have not been opened in centuries, and the chambers inside are now thick with rot. The skeletons of Nain's followers lie about the place where they died. In their last days, they drew signs of warning on the walls and floor depicting Durin's bane and the fall of Moria. These ghastly images depict a figure of smoke and fire lurking on the far side of the door, killing at will, and warn that no weapon can wound Durin's bane. There is also a cairn. As the room opens and you see this, there is a whisper in the air, and it's coming from the room down below. And let me grab everyone into combat. All right. So these. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to move everybody. Let me move you back. These ash wraiths come out. They're down at the bottom of the stairs. We have a chance for an opening volley. Vidar, if you want to, you can, and then Craic, and then Thranin, and then Frór, and then Fatimer, and then we'll go into normal combat. Let's get some combat music. So, Vidar, do you do any sort of ranged opening volley?
Yeah, he's thrown the spear like a dozen times and it never works, but I don't think he's quite given up on it yet. I don't know if he even can succeed. Oh,
With
theoretically,
Gandalf,
yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Well, at least if it's in combat, it doesn't raise the eye awareness. You rolled a 1. Great. No, that's not going to cut it. How about Craic? Do you take a ranged attack?
I think I'm going to do what I did before and set up a little fire.
Going? Perfect.
Yeah.
And Thranin?
I'm going to do my awe intimidation.
Perfect. Go ahead.
I don't know how you intimidate a wraith, but I will say something about their mother and ugliness and
no.
they laugh
Again,
at me.
how do you intimidate a wraith? Frór, what about you?
Yeah, I'll knock an arrow and fire my bow.
Go ahead and fire. Wow. How about old Deadeye Fatimer? Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's do a protection roll. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Jeez.
Just have might 1. Fatimer, how do you do it?
Oh, nice.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Fatimer's not playing around. He just launches his arrow and it goes right through him and he dissolves.
So there's a burst of flame as he dies, and you're reminded if he takes a wound up close or a weapon passes through him, fire jets out from the wound, and to be wary. Let's go into close combat. You can all assume your combat stances as the wraith during the opening volley moves up the stairs. So go ahead, you can change your stances when you're all ready. Then we will start the close combat. Looks like Vidar is the only one going in close. Oh, and Thranin will. Anyone else? Going once. Going twice. Vidar, you're up first.
Yeah, he's still a little crazy from earlier, I think. I picked Jealous, and I think he didn't like that you guys got all the glory earlier, so he's just going to crazily charge you on the stairs at this thing.
I love that.
I say all that because I'm aware it's a terrible idea.
Make your attack roll. This is going to do the snake-like speed, so your attack roll is going to be ill-favored. And so You'll click on the little Gandalf rune and then do worse. Oh, dang! That would have been a hit otherwise.
Nice.
But you charge down, and probably for the best, you don't hit it, or you would have been engulfed in flames. But you don't know this. You didn't see the other one. Thranin, you're up. You likewise didn't see the other one.
No, I didn't. And I'm going straight up.
Ooh, nice. Okay. You hit it with your axe. Flames will come out of this thing. You need to make a damage roll, and this is a feat die. It's 2 feat die. So do /R space 2df, and then you can we'll do the damage from there. So 7 points of damage that you will take. Now you can take half of that, round it up. You can take 4 and be knocked back, or you can take the full 7 and keep your stance.
Oof. I'll take the 7 and keep my stance.
Okay, I'm going to put you at 22. Flames pour out around you, racing up your arm as you strike it with that long-hafted axe. Craic, your turn.
Am I able to shoot with them there?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
No, probably because you're being careful not to strike a dwarf, your shot misses. Frór, you're up next. Oh, that is a miss. Fatimer. Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
Okay, let me see if he has a thing to help him with protection rolls. I don't think he does. I was almost going to
Where'd
make
you get your dice?
I know,
I know,
right? I was almost going to make your thing be ill-favored, and I should have, but shoot, no? Okay, let's see if he makes his protection test. Oh, jeez. Fatimer, how do you do it?
Right, Fatimer just lets his arrow fly. It hits him right through it. This burst of flame comes out, and Fatimer just yawns and slings his bow back on his back.
Wow. Fatimer is racking up the hit points, or the experience points here. With the ash...
Thranin will step up to Fatimer and put his hands on his shoulders and just give him that look like there's more to this hobbit than we think, and follow it up with a big clap on the back that sends him a couple feet away.
Your arrows go flying. Yeah, well done. Holy cow. Okay, I was hoping that would actually be a challenge. There is some... you could do a search of this room. Some scan rolls to see if there's any treasure in here. You can also go and study there's probably writings on that cairn for King Nain and see what's there. Ooh, automatic success with the scan roll. Extraordinary success. Another success. Whew. So, Vidar, you were looking at the cairn?
Yeah.
There is writing here. It's in Dwarven. It says, "Here lies Nain the First, last lord of Khazad-dûm. He lies in a humble cairn for one of the line of Durin, but in his hands he holds a heavy ring of keys. let me give you the keys. Let's see. What is it? Championn treasure. And I'll post a picture of this. There's a ring of keys in his hands. This huge ring of keys has dozens of ornate keys hanging from a perfect circle of mithril. Do you take that, Vidar?
I think, yeah, Vidar would probably lift it up to show everybody if they're paying attention and say, I do believe Balin would be interested in this. And it may help us, of course.
As you pick it up and touch it, you realize this is a magical item. This is something very impressive. These keys unlock all the doors of the Dwarven. The enchantment of opening and returning bestowed on the ring means that the right key is always to hand and ensures that the ring cannot be lost or stolen. If taken, it appears in the possession of its rightful owner at some point later, and Vidar, you are now the rightful owner. The ring can only be removed if the bearer is slain or voluntarily hands control over to another. Additionally, looking through the circle of metal reveals hidden doors and compartments. It has a blessing of scan, so you can use it as a magic item to get an automatic success to find those hidden doors, or it just gives you a 2 dice bonus on a scan roll. You are now the key bearer. There are keys that open... I'm actually going to describe the keys. I'm not going to tell you what they open. So there's a large and heavy iron key, very old and solid. There's a much smaller key of mithril with the number 17 written on it. There's another mithril key, this one marked with the crown of Durin. There's an immensely ornate key with a handle of gold. There's a key of steel marked with the sign of crossed axes. There is another key, large and heavy and iron, but this is clearly newer in design. And then there is the ring of keys itself is a key of its own right that opens some door. And the right key will always be at hand when you come to a locked door. So let me...
That's awesome.
Yeah, super cool key. So this is... If you have the Moria book, I'm not saying to go look at it, but it's on page 95. This is something that you can find in this. This is a hidden area called the Last Redoubt of the Dwarves. And this is something incredibly useful and powerful. Let me just edit your ring of keys so we know it helps you with scan.
Thranin will like poke him in the side with his elbow and say, "Too bad it wasn't a magic spear, though."
Well, now we're going to roll for all the other treasure, because everyone else found a bunch of treasure. So, let's see. A search reveals a considerable arsenal of dwarven forged weapons and armor, for these were the best knights of the realm, the king's own bodyguards. We're going to roll the feat die 6 times to determine if there's any magical treasure here. So, how many treasure hunters do we have? Do we have 3? Or 4? I think we have...
Craic's 1.
Craic's 1, Frór's 1, Thranin is 1.
I'm also a treasure hunter.
Fatimer's 1. Is Vidar 1?
I don't know. How would I know? I assume not.
Title. No, you're a captain. So we have 4.
Oh.
So let's have Craic and Fatimer roll once, and the 2 dwarves roll twice. So Craic and Fatimer do /R space 1DF, and you want a Gandalf or an Eye of Sauron. No. Now the dwarves, Vidar and Frór, can roll 2 dice. So /R space 2DF.
Nice.
Yes, so then we found a magic item. Frór did. And how about for Thranin? And then roll one more, Thranin.
Oh,
You get to roll 2. All right.
nope.
A magic item, and it says, assume any magical items here are famous weapons or armor. So, I have a list. Who has not gotten, like, their big thing? So, I know Vidar, you have the Axe of Drawer. Frór, you have the shield. Thranin, you have the mithril. So I think Fatimer and Craic don't have their famous weapon or armor.
No, I got the bracelets of the elk from Haldor's body.
So that's a wondrous item, but there's even better ones. Let's see. I've got let's do a roll off. So between Fatimer and Craic, roll a 20 or a 12-sided die. Roll a feat die, and whoever rolls highest gets it.
Eat die.
So /r/1df.
Oh.
If you get a Gandalf rune, I'll give you something extra too.
Oh.
Oh, yes!
Oh man,
It's getting an artifact.
was that Fatimer?
Yeah.
Oh jeez. Okay, well you find 2 things.
Nice.
Do you want to find both famous weapons and armor, or do you want to find a famous weapon and a wondrous item?
I'll do a famous weapon and a wondrous item.
Okay. So the famous weapon that you find, this is your item.
Would the other famous weapon be for...
It would be for Craic.
Then I'll do that.
Perfect. Thank you. I was hoping you would make the right choice. All right. Arachnol, the spider's bane, and the talon of Theridilion. A sword and a spear. The sword is for Fatimer. The spear is for Craic. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Open your character sheet and then just drag that from the chat onto your character sheet. And we'll go over it real quick. So Fatimer, do you have that on your sheet?
I think so.
Okay, so you want to probably unequip your short sword. I'll do that for you, and then we'll equip Arachnol. Do you want to drop your short sword? Otherwise, it's just load you're carrying around.
Yeah, I never use it, so.
Okay. So we'll actually let's let me just delete it then. Okay. With Arachnol, the spider's bane. This thin-bladed sword was made by the elven smiths of Mirkwood to pierce the hard exoskeletons of arachnids and cleave their little legs off. It's a straight-bladed, two-edged sword, wielded in one hand to hew or thrust. Now, this has, right off the bat, superior fell, so it adds 4 to the injury rating. So if you hit someone, the injury rating is 20. That's what they have to beat with their protection roll. When it comes time to improve your valor and get a new reward, you can take the next reward on this weapon. I'm going to tell you what it is now, but you don't know what it is until basically a fellowship phase, but it's cleaving. When you kill a foe, you may immediately attack another foe engaged with you. So if you're fighting 2 things and you kill one, you can immediately make a free attack. But you don't have access to that until you unlock it. So that is on your sheet. You're going to have to start using that now. And then Craic, the Talon of Theridilion. I hope you have... Okay. You have no skill in spears. We can change this. I can change it to a sword if you like.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. Let's make it useful. So this... let me edit this right now. This long-bladed sword was made to destroy foul trolls and even fouler undead. We'll do the handle is made of ebony wood, and the blade gleams in moonlight when trolls or undead are near.
Nice.
with a I'm gonna say it's a two-handed sword. So with a blade, longer than most, it must be wielded with two hands. Let me adjust this. This will be swords. It's two hands. Let me grab get the right stats here. So
Did I drop my shield then?
yeah, you could probably drop your regular sword if you want. Let's see, if it's a long sword, does 5 and 18. So let me adjust that to 5 and 18. And what's the load of a long sword is 3. So let me adjust the load. And let's see. Okay, so the first thing that it has, so this magical sword was made in Numenor and is the bane of trolls and undead. So it has superior grievous. So it adds 1 to the damage rating or your valor level against your bane. So that's something we'll have to do mechanically. So right now the injury rating is going to be 19 instead of 18. And then if you're fighting a troll or an undead, it'll be equal to your valor, which right now is also 1, but if your valor goes up, then the injury to a troll or undead will go up as well. And then you don't have access to this yet, but when you do, when you can unlock a reward by increasing your valor, you can add foe slaying. If you get a piercing roll against a troll or an undead, then their protection roll is ill-favored. And I think this, yeah, that's what it has. Let me change the picture to a sword. Let's see. I think I've got a sword open here. Let's see. Swords. How about that one? That's a good one.
Okay.
And so that's equipped. Do you want to drop your regular sword? I can drop it for you.
Yeah, I'll probably drop that.
Or you can keep it. You'll just have the load.
Yeah, I'll drop it.
Okay. So you still have your Grievous Bow and now the Talon of Theradilion.
I'll hold on to the shield then for now. Just
yeah, that helps your parry, so you're harder to hit.
okay.
So they're kind of useful. But if you need to drop it, you can drop that. Excellent. We also find some treasure in here. Do you take the king's treasure or do you leave it here? Would he want that treasure to stay here or to go with him? Or to go with those who have come to reopen the hall? What would you think? What would the dwarves think? Would you take the gold and silver that is here? Surely they would want you to have these weapons, but would they want you to have their money? Thranin, what do you think as a treasure hunter?
Well, I'm not a treasure hunter, but I do not believe the dead use coin.
Oh, I thought you were a treasure hunter. Are you not?
No, I'm a champion.
Oh, let me fix that. Champion. There we go.
That's probably why I'm giving you the wrong answer.
Right? Let's do... Oh, well, then what would... Frór, you're the treasure hunter that's a dwarf. Let's have you do it. What would you do?
Well, I think it's best that this is left with the dwarves. It's definitely not a good omen to take from the the kings of old, and I'd rather not upset any more dead dwarves, as we had dishonored the previous king we'd encountered. I think that it's best if we leave this be.
So what do you do for King Nain, first of his name? His body lays here in this broken cairn.
After being somewhat shamed by Frór's answer, I will look at the floor and kick some dust, and I'll reach into my pouch and I'll take some coins, and I will add to the coins,
Oh, nice.
and I will give thanks to my forefathers.
And Vidar, what of you?
I think Vidar might just do his best to tidy up the cairn. I'm sure it's defaced, but whatever. Yeah, he wouldn't take anything. Obviously, he's not really in need. Though I'm not sure he would, even if he were.
Let me have all of you make a valor roll. You're not going to lose shadow, but if you pass this roll, you can eliminate some shadow. As you see, the last king of Moria is safely in his grave, undisturbed. Oh, nice. So Vidar can remove 2 points of shadow. Oh, Thranin almost. And Frór can remove 1 point of shadow. And Fatimer and Craic can do this as well. That is a no for Fatimer and a no for Craic. But for Frór and Vidar, this proves to be cathartic as you see King Nain and the stories that you will tell of seeing the king. He may have fallen, but he is still lies proud in his in the last redoubt of the dwarves, where they fought to the last dwarf. This seems like a good place to rest. If you want to do a full night's rest here, you could. Nothing is likely to disturb you down here. If you want to do that, you can do a full day's rest. You will remove a point of fatigue from everyone, as well as restore all of your endurance points. Do you want to do that here?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So on your sheet under the resources, there should be like a prolonged rest. You can all do that, and then we will end the session here too. So let me get some experience points up here for us. And make sure, Fatimer, you reduce your fatigue by 1. Same thing with Thranin. And everybody, actually. Yeah, everybody reduce. If you do the full rest, just reduce your fatigue by 1.
Does anybody want that last community point?
Yeah, we got 1 more point. Someone can put in their hope, because it's going to reset at the start of the next session.
I'll take it then.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and reset that now. And probably the best news is the eye awareness also resets back to 2. It was up at 12. If that hits 14, then it's called the hunt, or a revelation will happen, and there's a whole slew of tables. And one of them could be that some real bad stuff shows up. So thank goodness that didn't happen. I've given everyone some experience points, 3 skill points, 3 adventure points, and then we did each find 1 point of treasure in an earlier room, not here in the last redoubt of the dwarves. At some point, if you guys want to do a fellowship phase, you would have to spend a couple days resting, and that would allow you a chance to recover your heart score in hope, as well as removing most of your fatigue, depending on how many days you rest. I think in the book it says that it has to be at least a week, but that's kind of silly in Moria. I would think 3 days would be enough to regain your strength and make plans for as you forge ahead. But then you could spend experience points to improve your skills, combat proficiencies, as well as your valor or wisdom. If we want to do that, we can. This would be a good place to do it. We can do that next time, or we can press on and just save those points. Any preference for doing a fellowship phase, or keep going?
I personally would probably vote for a fellowship phase. I could definitely improve the character quite a bit with the points I have now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyone object to doing a fellowship phase next time?
No.
Okay, we will start next session with the fellowship phase. This is one of the landmarks is finding the Ring of Keys. And I've done it before where when we find a landmark we get a little bonus experience. I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to give everyone 2 additional skill points and 2 additional adventure points for achieving kind of this landmark. There's a couple other points where this will happen. We are looking for the Axe of Durin as well as the Bell of Azanulbazar. When we find each of those, we'll get one of these as well. And when we finish the campaign, there will be a big bonus as well. So everyone gets a little extra XP, so we will have plenty to go shopping. And just for a heads up, for next time, if you want to start planning ahead, there is a... Let's see, where is it? There it is. There's a chart that shows how much stuff costs. Let's see. That's not it. No, where'd it go? This was what I meant to... I don't know if that shared the right thing. I meant to just share the picture. Well, maybe I did. So, to improve a skill, each skill can only go up 1 level. So you can't go from level 1 to level 3. But you take like the level that you are. If you're 0, then to go to level 1 would cost you 4 skill points. If you're level 1, it would cost you 8 to go to level 2, and so on. Skill points only improve your skills. Adventure points improve your combat proficiencies, so your combat skills, plus valor or wisdom. You can't do both valor and wisdom. You can only do one. And you can only gain either valor or wisdom and 1 rank in each combat proficiency. So you couldn't take like 2 ranks in bows or something. Same with skills. You can just take 1. Anyway, you guys have a lot of experience points kind of stockpiled, so if you want to start thinking about it, this is how you do it. And then you'll be able to recover a little bit of hope, which will be nice, and then it's just going to get worse from here. Any questions before we sign off?
Nope.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. That was fun. That was pretty cool. I don't know what Fatimer ate or drank, but
Yeah.
got a like 50 cal sniper rifle over there with the Hobbit. Very cool moment where you guys put the graffiti out there. That's going to pay dividends in the end. It's going to reduce the load of orcs that you might face, which is always a good thing. And then you guys are just mowing through the ash wraiths and everything else. I got to get something that will challenge you. But someone or something is now aware of your presence in Moria. So that takes us into Act 2. Let's go ahead and sign off there. Next time we'll do a fellowship phase and we will go explore a little bit more. Thanks everybody.